The Cincinnati Bengals have made a move on trade deadline Tuesday. Let's talk about it here on No Buts About It. That's right, the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that does not usually bring in players through midseason trades. They've only done it twice in the history of the franchise, once in 2020, and before that, they didn't do it since 1972. They had not brought in any players on midseason trades. Now, there were some commenters on the short who pointed out the BJ Hill trade was done in late August. So if you want to count that, I'll allow it. Who am I to draw these things? But technically, regular season trades, there's only been two done. This is the third. And that is for Bears running back Khalil Herbert. Now, this is not a trade that I necessarily saw coming. Not something I'd considered a huge weakness for the Bengals. However, I do understand why the Bengals did it. It has now been kind of brought up and talked about a little bit by Tom Pelissero that Zach Moss is out for the season with the neck injury. Now, we had heard from Zach Taylor. He'd said Zach Moss was out indefinitely, but Tom Pelissero is basically saying, yeah, he's done for the season. So it was just going to be Chase Brown out there. They had Travion Williams out there against the Raiders, but it was really just the Chase Brown show. And Chase Brown looked great. His production was phenomenal. He's shown us if you continue to give him the ball, he will get the job done in both the passing game and the rushing game. So, what am I looking for here in Khalil Herbert? Well, first of all, the Bengals only gave up a 7th-round pick for this young man. And Khalil Herbert, he's kind of an interesting player because he never got a long-term shot in Chicago. Khalil Herbert he was drafted in 2021. Roschon Johnson comes in. They kind of split some snaps. And then DeAndre Swift came in this season. So Khalil Herbert really hasn't played at all this season. So kind of very fresh body he's bringing in. He's not beat up, not injured. That's great for the team. But really what I'm worried about with Khalil Herbert is what is his pass blocking like? Like I said, Chase Brown, he's that rushing production. He's the RB1 now. Zach Moss was brought in to be a pass-blocking running back, to pass protect for Joe Burrow on those clear passing plays or any play-action plays where they may need that running back blocking assistance. And Khalil Herbert, don't get me wrong, he can produce. He has, before this season, before the 2024 season, in 2023 and 2022, he had over 700 all-purpose scrimmage yards. So he can be effective in both the run game and he can be effective in the pass game. But that's not what I'm looking at. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm not going to freak out if he's not super productive there. What I am going to freak out about is if he is not able to pass protect. And this was something that was a concern for Khalil Herbert. Looking back at his draft profile, he was not good in pass protection. He struggled. However, he's gotten better every season. In fact, the 2023 season was his best year with pass protection where he had significant snaps. And he has done fairly well with the few pass protection snaps he's had this season. However, it is less than like 5, so I'm not going to really – I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, essentially. So Khalil Herbert, this trade isn't a super like wow, flashy, put it up on the sign type thing to me. It's really going to come down to, can he just be an average pass protector? We gave up a 7th-round pick for him. His cap hit is less than $500,000, and he's a free agent next season. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. There's not a ton invested in him. However, I think the larger, greater statement that this trade makes is that the Bengals are serious when they say that they still believe that they are a playoff team and they are willing to go out and get players. They are willing to go out and say, hey, we have a hole here. We need to go and plug that if we are going to make the playoffs. Now, running back, yes, there's a huge hole there now with Zach Moss, and I'm glad they went out and got someone to plug this. But I still need them to go out and get me a pass rusher. There are some pass rushers available. Chase Young, we've talked about him as a potential guy the Bengals could go out and get. Not my favorite. My favorite would be offensive linebacker Azeez Ojulari. I think the Giants are going to be wanting to sell. There's going to be a lot of people calling for him too, though. So hopefully Duke Tobin's in talks for that. Hopefully he is one of those people calling the Giants trying to get a deal done for him because he's a phenomenal pass rusher. And it would also allow some of the younger defensive ends to still get in the rotation, like Cedric Johnson, like Miles Murphy. And that's something the Bengals need as well. I just want that pass rush. I want to get Trey some help. But Khalil Herbert, this trade is more of a smoke signal to me. It shows that the Bengals are serious about what they're saying. It's a sign in the sky that they are going to put actions to their words, and that's exciting. That's more exciting to me than the actual trade itself, the actual player himself. And Khalil Herbert, hopefully he works out. Hopefully he does great. You know, sometimes players come in and they just needed a change of scenery, and they get that change of scenery, become a completely different guy. I mean, look at Saquon Barkley down in Philadelphia. I mean, he's a completely different player. He's having fun. He's finally getting some help with his team. He's jumping over guys backwards. I'm not saying Khalil Herbert's going to do that, but sometimes that's all you need is just a little switch, a little change of scenery, some different players around you. So we'll see what happens with him. But this trade is more of historical value to me than anything else right now. But let me know what you think about the trade down below. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. 97% of returning viewers are not subscribed, and you're missing out on stuff. So if you're part of that 3%, though, who are subscribed, we appreciate you, and thank you so much. But until next time, go do something nice for someone.